You are now locked in to the Sitting Down with the Sisters podcast.
Hi guys. Welcome back to the Sitting Down with the Sisters podcast.
We're your hosts. I'm Temi.
I'm Ayo.
And I'm Ashley. And today we have two very special guests. Do you guys want to introduce yourselves?
Oh, hi, I'm Ephraim.
My name's Jon.
Do you want to disclose your ages as well?
Oh, ages?
Not your
Just so
age,
the people
but tell
know
us
you.
something about you. Like,
Yeah.
give us something.
Give us a random fact.
Tell the people what you do, innit?
Yeah, tell
Yeah.
them.
I was
Tell
going to
them
give
something.
the random fact of that I played the harp, but I haven't played for 2 years.
Oh, do you actually? Wait, do you actually?
No.
Wait, huh?
He does.
did.
Oh, I
I've seen
did,
a
I did.
video.
Yeah.
Oh, you did, so you don't do it anymore?
Yeah, basically not.
Okay.
Right.
That's really interesting.
And what about you, John?
I play the drums, I guess, if we're doing music.
Okay.
Oh, that's
Mhm.
nice.
I former professional.
So you both stopped?
I mean, I
we
still.
can't put each other in the same category.
I'm
It's
done.
like lockdown and there's no music venues and stuff open. But when
Oh, yeah,
it
true.
reopens, I'll be playing gigs again. Don't worry, we'll invite you guys to come. to our
Follow
show.
them on Twitter. We'll put their socials down below so you can see him drumming. I've seen the videos. They're good.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Follow at your own risk, by the way.
Oh, gosh.
Wait, what?
You'll understand what he means by that by the end.
I told you,
by
I'm
the end
so
of this
lost.
He said follow by your own at your own risk.
Okay.
Yeah.
And speaking on that even,
Yeah,
today...
so today we're here to talk about Christian Twitter. Go on.
Mhm.
The good, the
And
bad, and the ugly.
everything and
Everything.
just where it's at right now.
Because it's hot.
It's very, very
Christian
hot.
Twitter's hot.
Tammy's not on Christian Twitter. You'll notice
Hot.
Yeah, she doesn't
throughout
know.
the podcast.
Yeah, I
episode.
feel like you guys might not hear my voice as much.
Right. We'll see.
But anyway, so we wanted to ask you what you guys what you think of Christian Twitter as it is, yeah, and whether you'd consider yourselves to be part of it.
Brutally honest,
Be as
We don't want you to lie,
don't
Eph.
want the
You don't
family.
as possible.
I think it's crap.
Right.
Okay,
We know when you're
Elaborate.
lying, by the way.
Oh, why is crap?
elaborate.
Yeah.
Yeah. And would you consider yourself part of it? Well, I guess you don't because you think it's crap.
Oh, yeah. I put myself in a pickle over that.
Yeah.
I think it's crap because like it's just really ingenuine and like there's a lot of just performative there's a performative nature to it. But I guess I'm part of it because I used to be on it more than but I guess we're part of it. Yeah, it's not like I'm trying to run away from anything.
We're like, if it's like a family, we're like the
Estranged.
estranged cousins. That's what we are.
At the
You
function.
guys refer to yourselves as we, not individuals. Is there a reason for that?
Well, we're talking about Swirly, right?
No, I'm talking about individually.
Yeah,
first. We haven't got to
individually,
Swirly
yeah.
yet.
We ain't there yet.
Oh,
Yeah.
We haven't even
yeah.
mentioned Swirly. I don't know what
Individually, You've been
Swirly is.
estranged and exiled.
yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
So- so- so
exiled.
the
Oh,
same.
no.
Strong word, isn't it? Yeah.
Not
That's
exiled.
a very biblical word for the people there.
Exactly.
Right. Okay. What about us, Christian Twitter? What do we think of it?
I don't know her.
Oh.
Wow.
Okay. I'm kind of the same. Who is that?
What, Christian Twitter?
Yeah. What
I know
person?
of Christian Twitter. Like, from what I know of it, it's Christians on Twitter,
Right.
isn't it? It's like Black Twitter. It's just like a little section, a part,
So
like
you're on
a
it as well then.
member of what? Christian Twitter. I'm not a part of Christian Twitter.
No, ready? Say it. Say the next bit.
What?
I'm just a Christian on Twitter.
No.
You're not gonna
I
say
was
that good.
never
That's what
even
they
thinking
all
of
say.
that.
They normally say
I
that.
get it.
I was gonna
I get
say
that's
that.
the phrase, but I didn't even cross my
I'm
head.
a Christian on
because-
Twitter, but I wouldn't say I'm part of Christian Twitter because I feel like Christian Twitter, there are names that you see all the time running the TL. There are ideologies thrown all over the place. There's people, they preach with their tweets. That it's sermonette every day. And that's not me.
From the AM to the PM.
Like, they don't let people rest. So personally, I don't identify with that collective. I'm just a Christian that loves the Lord.
That's on Twitter.
Hallelujah.
Yeah, we used to be part of Christian Twitter.
So what happened there?
Before that, can I ask,
Oh.
what made you be part of Christian Twitter? Why did you? Was it a conscious decision, or you just found yourself on Christian Twitter?
Just found myself there.
I think everybody.
I think that's the
finds
case of
themselves.
everybody.
I know,
to
but
be
I'm sure
fair.
there's people catting for it too. 'Cause
Oh,
people,
yeah.
people want a name, and that Christianity is a
It's
very
so easy to
quick
get
way
one
to
on.
get.
And especially when you hear Christian Twitter, it sounds positive. So of course you want to know more. You just find yourself there, right?
And if you have the platform as well.
Yeah,
people love it.
yeah.
Right. Okay. Cool.
So what was
That's
what you were
good
saying
for it.
before, Ashley?
No, my next question was just, okay, so obviously we mentioned Swirly. So there might be some people watching thinking, Swirly?
Yeah.
What's that? Swirly?
Yeah.
So
Should I be honest? I'm not aware of
She's
Swirly.
She's not aware of
I'm not
Swirly, so this was
aware.
not aware.
So this is
it's only
We'll
I would
break it
say
down
it's
for you.
myself
Thank
and
you.
Io who
Yes.
are aware of Swirly.
So I'll okay. You go.
So, do you want to explain to the people what is Swirly?
Yep.
How has it come about?
Yep. Who's the
And
leader?
who's the leader?
Everything.
So just give us the rundown.
You know, they call themselves Swirly Gang.
Right, I was gonna say I've heard you're a gang. That's
Gang.
it.
I want gang.
Yeah, we are.
Gang.
gang.
So, tell us about yourselves.
So,
What is Swirly?
all right, cool. So, like I was saying earlier, actually, that I was part of Christian Twitter. I was one of the golden boys because, you know, if you're really active,
Hey.
if you're doing, they love people that
VIP.
are active in it. So, we used to
Golden
be going out,
Boys. There's a
healing the
label.
sick,
Wow.
putting up testimony videos, all of that stuff. You do that,
Oh.
you ascend the ranks really quickly in it because they look at you like, oh, you're
The
doing what Jesus did.
ranks, not the ranks.
So, did all that, and then I had like a huge theological shift, like from 2018, but like in 2019, it really, really hit me. And that's kind of where everything changed. So, I had a theological shift, and then I started a fellowship just after it, and I was basically teaching what I'd understood, the grace message, stuff like that. And then he and some of the other Swirly guys came to my fellowship.
Okay.
And they started coming. And then about a year ago, probably from like the beginning of 2020, basically one of our friends watched this soaking video. So soaking music is like it's like this relaxation music that Christians like to play. It's like you know Dappy Keys.
Oh,
Like,
Dappy T Keys, yeah.
Dappy T Keys, yeah, that, but without him playing. It's just like pads.
Oh.
It's really,
Oh.
yeah, slap still. We still bang that now. So one of them was called Swirly. It was a track. It was called Swirly. So when I was preaching at the platform, my fellowship, I would say something, and if Jerome really liked it, he'd be like, "Oh, that's Swirly." That's
So can I
how-
cut you off?
Okay.
Did you say you preach?
Yeah, I run a fellowship.
Okay.
On Thursdays. Thursdays, 7:30 p.m. It's on Zoom right
Quick
now.
plug.
Normally we're in Stratford.
It will
Yeah.
be down
Come check
below.
us. Come check us.
Okay, cool. Sorry to cut you
Yeah.
off.
So he started saying, "Oh, that's Swirly," and then it just kind of picked up. And then what would happen is, obviously, we'd be on Twitter, and we'd see someone tweet something that we liked, so we would maybe quote it with like these wine glasses, because obviously new wine, Christ, new covenant stuff.
That's
We'd
so
quote it with
creative.
wine glasses,
Wow.
or we would just be like, "Oh, this is Swirly," and then it just caught on. All of a sudden, it was like, "Oh, well, these are the lot that use a Swirly, so this is the Swirly gang." I don't. Do you know? Actually, to this day, I don't remember how the gang thing.
Yeah,
came
that's
in.
what I wanted to.
I think someone was tweeting against it, saying that I don't agree with it, with the stuff they say, and then they called us Swirly, and we were like, oh, that makes sense. Like,
So you
Okay.
kind of turned the negative into a positive.
Yeah, we literally took them
So
right on
wait,
the brand. We
You know
ran
the
it.
whole you guys identifying yourself as Swirly. Would you say it was more so other people putting that on you, or you took it upon yourself and said, "Yeah, do you know what? We're gonna run with it."
so I guess we knew that we had a different identity to everyone else, but it just wasn't something that we coined. So
Yeah, like a name for it.
Yeah, so yeah. this-
Right.
Do you know
okay.
when I heard Swirly, I thought you meant literally when people swirl their drinks in people's face.
No,
I've
no,
never
no.
heard that term.
Swirl
You've never
their
heard
drinks
it?
in people's
Swirling-
face.
Like, is
I've
that
heard
a thing?
swirlies of people putting heads down toilets. I've
Yeah.
heard swirlies with interracial relationships.
Ah.
Those are the two.
Because you know,
Yeah, that's the ones
when
I
you
thought
swirl,
of.
I just think of a
your-
swirl.
Yeah, like your
Yeah,
wine
yeah.
glass.
Yeah,
and you
yeah.
swirl
Oh,
the
yeah,
wine
yeah.
glass.
Oh,
Yeah, and then I
swirl
thought,
it and
but I
chuck
thought you
it.
lot were saying it like,
Especially
I mean,
with
we
the
kinda-
wine
we kinda
glass
do that
emoji
theologically
as
as well.
well.
I would
We
say
do
that.
that.
yeah, that's what
Our
that's,
tweets
that's
are
what I
this.
genuinely thought. Because your tweets are like that, I was like, okay, that's what they mean. But it's nice to know that that's why you
Right.
call yourself that.
That's a bit more of a violent interpretation of
If
it.
you take it like that.
I mean, to be fair, the wine glass doesn't really help, does it?
What? You do not like?
No, but for her,
no, for me,
for
like,
her to
'cause I'm a
think.
creative. Like I just thought, they know that they
Is that what they
aggravate
mean?
the airwaves.
And imagine seeing the wine glass, and
airwaves,
that's a
I'm
confirmation
done.
for her.
Thank you.
Yeah. So so I thought, maybe, yeah.
fair
All right,
enough.
cool. So as you said, you had a theological shift. So what exactly happened? Like, obviously, keep this brief because we've got so many things we want to ask. But so from where you started when you gave your life to Christ, like as Christians say, to where you are now.
Like you said, as Christians say, Karen.
Yeah. As Christians say, how did you get from there to
this point?
where you are now?
Oh, we'd have to jump in.
Individually, like your so keep it brief.
Wait,
Yeah.
sorry to interrupt. You didn't say who is the leader
Oh
of
yeah, you didn't
Swirly?
address that. I think it's John because he said he
Yeah.
started it. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
I'm really just
Thank
like-
you.
Hey,
Um,
Papa. Daddy Jew.
Yeah, how did... Yeah, to be fair, we could just start from Jesus 18, innit?
Yeah.
So, like I said, run-of-the-mill charismatic. I call it charismaniac because I was very much like extreme charismatic.
Radical.
Yeah, radical. So there was a conference. So so about mid 2018, really wanted to heal the sick. Wasn't seeing the results that I was supposed to see according to all the teaching I've been listening to.
You're one of those Christians on the streets.
On the streets.
The
This is what
blood
posting them
of
on video.
Jesus.
The videos are still on Twitter.
I
if you
remember
check.
seeing the videos.
I
That's how I
didn't
first
see
saw
you.
you guys.
Still
Those
that stuff.
videos.
Healing the sick.
Stratford, innit?
Wow.
Stratford.
Healing the
I remember that.
Everywhere.
Britain.
Yeah, everywhere. So so then there was one of our friends, Tatiana. She found this video by this guy called Curry Blake, and it was like a whole series on healing. Now I'd watched everybody, all the major, Benny Hinn, Bill Johnson, all the guys that talk about healing.
The
But this Curry
OGs.
Blake, I haven't heard of him. So, but Kufre sent it to me, another one of our guys, and he was like, "Oh, you need to watch this." I was like, "Why?" Because I've watched everything. So if you're not going to say anything new, there's no point. But he was like, "Check the comments." So in the comments, one comment was like, "This teaching was really powerful. It helped me raise my husband from the dead." I said, "You have my attention." It was an 18 video long series. I sat and watched
Wow.
18 videos.
How long were the each? How long was each
each
video?
session was like at least an hour.
Jeez.
Wow.
So I
Sorry,
watched it. I
you
watched it
meant
through.
The comment said what? It helps
so
you
someone
raise.
commented, yeah. So this teaching helped
And
me raise.
why
my
did that
husband.
catch your attention?
Because it meant
You're trying to be a healer.
it was no. So it meant that. So okay. So there's a difference between all these ministers that I was looking up to. They were doing stuff, but they couldn't teach other people to do it.
Right.
Right.
Okay.
Whatever they're doing must not have been working to
Got
any degree. If you can teach something and someone raises the dead from what
Got
you've
you.
taught, what you're doing well.
There's power there. I want to
So
tap in.
yeah. So I basically was like, I'm gonna listen to this guy. So he. Oh, you need me to? Okay. Cool. So at one point during this series, he's like, well, the reason that this teaching works is because of the New Man series. So I'm like, oh my God, I need to go and find this New Man series now.
It just sounded
So,
like more videos
yeah.
upon videos.
Now, for a little bit of context, before there was Swirly, there was this thing called KF. KF was Swirly before Swirly. This is like 2017.
Wow.
So KF were these guys in Ghana that were preaching the same stuff. Literally, they even used the wine. I don't remember this, but when I went back and checked, I was like, oh my God, they used the wine glass.
What does KF stand for?
Kingdom Family, that's what they were called. They used the wine glass. They used the dove emoji for Holy Spirit. Like they did all the same stuff, same kind of tweets that we would tweet, all the same stuff. But back then, I used to disagree and argue with them on the TL, like all the stuff that people say about me now, which is really funny.
How ironic is that?
really funny. And yeah, so I used to argue with them, and they always used to talk about this John Crowder guy that they used to send. Any question I had, they'd always send one John Crowder video to me. I was like, what's wrong with why are you always do you guys worship this John Crowder? I want nothing to do with him. So I said, I'm not going to listen to anything. He had a book called Mystical Union. I refused to read it, flat out refused to read it. So I'm listening to this Curry Blake guy now in his New Man series, and I'm like, this sounds like what these lot said John Crowder used to say. Okay. So I watched through the New Man series, learned a lot of stuff, and I was like, you know what? I think I might have to go back and read this Mystical Union book, you know? So when I read Mystical Union, and I remember the first sentence is something like, when you hear the word gospel, do you think of fun? If your answer is no, then you probably haven't heard the gospel properly. And I was like,
Wow.
it hit me. I was like,
like that.
I know that's true. I know that's true, and I don't find the gospel fun right now.
Wow, yeah.
So-
That's real.
Yeah, so I was like, all right, let me read it. So I read it, but I was still, at this point, I'm still in that charismaniac kind of circle. So there was a conference that we went to the end of 2018 in Orlando called Jesus 18. Yeah, we like flew out.
Wow.
Flew out.
Wow.
So we were there, and I was like, I literally told everybody, I was like, this is the last straw. Up until now, this stuff hasn't really been working. If this conference doesn't change my life, I'm going into this finished work stuff and seeing what it's saying. So,
And you should change your life because of the panel and people.
oh yeah, like the lineup was disgusting. Everybody was there. Everybody was there. So we get there now. Conference happens. It's like 3 days or whatever. And on the last night, it's funny because he was there. So I came out on the last night after it was all done. We were all there talking. I just looked at them and I said, yeah, that wasn't it still. He said, no, that wasn't it for me. It wasn't it for me. So
Why
2019.
wasn't it? Like, it just didn't click.
Yeah, I was just like, there were so many things that I was now seeing. So Curry Blake was really, really big on scripture. Really, really big on, in particular, the epistles and teaching like the actual Christian part of the Bible. And so I was becoming way more familiar with it. And then I saw stuff and I'd be like, wait, but that's not what that verse means. They would teach on stage. I'm like, wait, that's not the interpretation.
That's not interpretation.
Or there was you remember, were you there for Ben Fitzgerald's deliverance?
No, I watched that one online because I was at home.
He literally came on stage and was like, Christians can have demons. Don't ask questions about it. We don't have time to get into it. Just come to the front if you need deliverance. And I was like, wait, what? And baby ran forward. I was like, how? Like, what? Is no one gonna, like, what? How can you just come forward? They can have
Don't
the
ask
demons.
questions.
Let's just, I was like, wait, I get it, but then I was like, nah, like this isn't in scripture. This can't run type thing. So there's so many things I saw, and I was just like, nah, this just wasn't it for me, man. And I was like, that's the last straw. So I'm out of this charismania. Let me go into this finished work stuff. So 2019, now I'm reading like E.W. Kenyon stuff on the New Creation Realities is a good book. Read some more John Crowder stuff. And then I discovered, I guess it was June 2019, I discovered a guy called Paul Ellis, his blog called Escape to Reality. And again, same stuff he was preaching on, the finished work and stuff. And I'm becoming really familiar with it by now. By this point, it's coming out in how I preach and stuff. And then he basically helped me realize that the whole world was forgiven. That was when I understood the gospel for the first time. When I realized, whoa.
So wait, before that point, how long were you a Christian for?
Yeah, I was gonna. Why are you in my head?
I gave my life to Christ when I was like 12.
Wow. And you only understood the gospel.
I understood the gospel at 20. Yeah. Oh, well, I was like, people. Okay, stuff like. So I didn't grow up in African church like that.
Hey, that makes sense.
So, yeah.
I was going to stuff like Big Church Day Out. 10
you
years
was
ago.
going to.
You're going to those
10
ones,
years ago.
right?
Yeah.
In the crowd, right?
She did Jesus culture. Jesus
Yeah.
culture. I went to see Jesus culture 10 years ago. I went to see Bethel 10 years ago. Like I was
Crazy.
in that stuff super early. So
Were you
I'd
raised in
already
the
seen-
church?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was raised in like an African church for a bit, and then we transitioned
Okay,
into that kind of
cool.
church for where I moved to. So I was already in that culture. So I mean, I met Brian Johnson when I was 14. I didn't know who he was at the
That's
time.
the guy from Hillsong.
No, from Bethel.
Bethel.
Yeah, Bill Johnson's
You're thinking of
son.
Brian Houston.
Yeah.
That's
Met him.
Hillsong.
Darlene Check when I was 14.
Oh, I love her.
Matt Redman. Everybody. Saw them all when I was
That's
really
mad.
young. So I was.
And you
yeah,
took
I
them
was-
for granted. No, I'm joking.
So I was super into that stuff. I wanted to be like Hillsong United. Like that was my the worship team at the church I was at the time. We wanted to be Hillsong United. We loved all that stuff. Jesus culture. Went to
That's
see them.
crazy.
It's all crazy, yeah. So I was on fire for God stuff from about then. I used to go to Christian camps like New Day, Soul Survivor. I went to New Day in particular.
Wow.
New Day from like 15 through to 18 or so. So after the Jesus culture, I went every other year. Like interpreted tongues on stage. Like I was like known in that circle for that kind of stuff. So yeah, I did that for a long time. 2019, when I realized that the world was forgiven, was the first time I understood the gospel, because I was like, this is good news.
I get that. That's
I was
amazing.
like, this is actually good news. What I've been preaching now is not good news. This is good news. This makes sense.
So were you guys friends? So that 2018 when you were at that Orlando thing, you were friends already? Or did you meet? No, because I don't know if you've known each other for a long
Yeah.
time.
No. All right,
Yeah.
if you told
Because
me.
obviously we've known Ephraim from school, so like, I don't know if you knew each other from.
So
Do you know what? Even Ephraim, answer like, what about you? Like your
journey, yeah.
your journey as well,
Yes.
and you can explain how you guys came about your friendship.
My journey, I think Jesus 18 was a turning point for me as well, but for me it was totally the opposite direction. So so I was very big on like seeking God and stuff like that. Like I gave my life to Christ, I would say was it 2017 June uni? Yeah, June uni. And then after that, like this Jesus 18 should have been the pinnacle for me, because all the people I looked up to were there. So I was like, like whatever impartation or whatever I'm going to receive or what I'm going to hear, like this is going to change my life. Like, and the way they were talking as well, like this is going to be the
You had high
the moment for you.
expectations.
Yeah, I had high expectations. I think for me, so that instance, the last day when everyone came out of the auditorium, and then I saw John, and he was like to me, like this isn't it. In my head, I was like thinking the same thing, but like because I was around people that were also saying, like this is it. I was thinking, it is all,
The hype.
But when he said that to me, it struck a chord in my head. I was like, this guy's
We're
right,
on the
man.
same
Like,
wavelength.
Yeah, like I knew that he was saying something right, and the people over was like, no, he doesn't get it. This is that, and I was just like,
So you guys have different personality types like that. Like he's more like, I don't know how to explain.
Straightforward, direct, stern.
I'm very blunt.
Like you stand. Like,
say what it
'cause you
is.
said you were surrounded by people that were like, this is it, and but like you had different experiences because you said you
yeah.
went different
I'd say
ways.
back then I wasn't as blunt or as
Like,
bold,
on your own,
essentially.
as singular in my thinking as I am now.
Okay, yeah.
But so then that started to make me think of like, so I started thinking back on my experience during that conference, because it was after around 3 to 4 days.
Yeah.
And all the best experiences I had were outside. So it was like the homeless man that I met, or people that I met outside that were struggling to get in. This is that. Those are the best experiences for me. So when I was like, so what I did, I literally went the opposite direction to John, and I started reading into other stuff from like past greats and stuff like that. And yeah, all I can say is that the stuff that they made me go into, it made me think more and more that I wasn't doing enough.
Yeah.
So but then I was thinking in my head, is there ever enough that I can actually do? So I remember just before John started his fellowship, I'd say maybe a week and a half before, I literally came to a standpoint where I was like, I stopped praying, like stopped doing everything. I was just like, I don't know what to do because all of this just it doesn't make sense. Like, how am I still struggling with masturbation or these other sins? And it's like, what's the difference between me and a sinner? I don't see any change in myself right now. So when he invited me and he came, literally the first, it's funny as well because I think he would confirm this, but like the first time we went, he preached on union. I think he preached on union, and he knew that he knew to preach on union because he knew that that's something I was very big on, in terms of me being trying to be close to God, whatever. But in my head at that time, it was always, I'm close to God as well as long as I'm not sinning. When I don't sin, that's when I'm far away from God. And it's like, how many hours of prayer I have to be in until I get to that level
Christians
again.
think.
Yes.
I literally, because I had the topic, I knew I was going to preach on it. So I sent him an Oye message in our group chat. I said, you guys need to come this week. I knew exactly. I tailored it because I remember one of the guys that we used to listen to used to talk about the 3 realms of our relationship with God. There's the friendship realm, the servant realm, then the friend realm, then the bridal realm.
Yeah.
So I put that into my teaching and debunked it. So I knew that it would get. I knew doing that would get to you. So yeah.
Yeah. And by the end
He
of that,
planned it.
I was.
He was ready for you.
He
By the end
planned
of it,
it.
I was finished. Like, I was just like, this is it. Like,
He was finished.
that point where I was like, I don't know what to do next, or what, like, I don't know what to do. As soon as I heard that, I was like, this is what I've been needing to hear.
Yeah.
Like, but I just didn't know it. And then from then on, obviously I was attending the Grace platform every week. From then on, I was reading books and stuff. And yeah, that was my theology shift.
Those are really nice stories.
Can I just say, like, you lot's friendship is actually like warming my heart. I can't even lie.
Oh, it wasn't always like this. That's what I went to go on.
Okay,
Go for it. Yeah.
Oh, do you want to take this?
Okay, I'll talk about how we met. So
Okay.
So we did before Swirly Gang, there was Heaven Gang. Heaven Gang was
Oh my God.
yeah.
You don't love a group.
I'm in. So
You love a
Swirly's
gang,
me.
innit? Love a gang.
So there was Heaven Gang. That was me, Earl Blackman, Kufre. Who's
That's
in
how I was gonna
Swirly.
say. I remember. Oh right.
Yeah, so Earl started that one. Me, Earl,
Okay.
Nee Adam that runs Paneem City now. Shout out to Paneem City, and Kufre who's in Swirly with us now.
Okay.
So we did an event called Holy Spirit, and they came to That's How I Met F. So at the end of the event, I think Nee pulls me to the side. He's like, "Oh, these 2 guys want they want to speak in tongues." Yeah,
I know Nee.
yeah.
Sorry.
From my
I know Nee. Shout out to Nee. I don't know if he's gonna watch this, but yeah.
So he pulled me over. He pulled me to the side. Like, "Oh, these 2 guys want to pray in tongues." I'm like, "Ah, cool." So he pulls me over, and it's F that I'm praying for. So I pray with F, and F. So F to this day is saved on my phone as F from tongues.
No.
I'm not changing the F.
Oh,
So that was when we met.
Okay.
And then I remember we had a job. So his so his Twitter at the time was what the F, right?
Yeah,
Nah, what the-
that's the F I know.
what an error that was, man.
That was the
So
F
I
I know.
remember being like,
Some of you watching might remember what the F. Iconic man. Very
So
iconic.
I remember saying, "Oh no, he needs to change that. Still, no, he's a Christian." Now. I probably didn't.
He was one of those
that's
people.
what I'm telling you.
Now you don't
I
care.
thought that was
No,
funny
now I
from
told
the
him to change it back.
beginning.
I'm like, it's
Go back.
Bang, witty as hell
Proper
to change it
witty,
back.
yeah.
It's creative.
Very
Proper
good.
creative.
So yeah, so I was like, "Oh, he needs to change that, man. He can't be doing this, all that crap." So
He was an uncle.
All that crap.
Oh.
Proper tonto.
yeah, so that's how we met, and then you can tell about Christmas 2018.
Oh.
Yeah, so Christmas 2018. So the people that I was watching and stuff were very big on love being everything. Like, oh, I love this, that. And then John, as he was talking about, he was very big on the signs and wonders of things. So like the healing the sick, the raising the dead, etc. So it came to this clash on Twitter. I don't know I think I don't know if you quoted something I said or you
No.
something you said.
F word tweeted something, and then you quoted F word.
Twitter.
Okay, yeah.
Mate, it's
Twitter
gone
is
back.
the roots of all
This is.
issues.
I feel like we're getting there.
Yeah,
to the
like it's all
Twitter.
just going.
It's making
It's
sense.
making sense.
Yeah. So
I'm
she
learning
said
a
something
lot.
about power, and I said it's not all about power; it's all about love. Or I said something like, "Love is all power," something like that. I tried.
Oh yeah.
I
Trying to be smart, woke.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I feel you.
yeah. So I think I then basically I remember on Christmas Day, like we were just going back and
Literally
forth with each
Christmas
other.
Day.
On
like,
Christmas
You
Day.
should have been
Christmas Day.
eating with
When
On
you
Twitter.
celebrate with your family.
On
Wow.
Christmas Day.
On
Yeah.
Twitter, did
On
you say?
Christmas.
On Christmas Day. I
You
remember
love
it.
Clubhouse, innit?
It's
You
not
love
Club-
it.
Oh,
Clubhouse is
Yeah,
different.
you seem like someone that will enjoy Clubhouse.
debate.
Yeah, like the debate and the.
You love a debate, innit?
Well, I like discussion.
I think both of them.
Yeah, that's
But
what I
to be
mean,
fair,
the
Efram, you've been
discussions.
like that from when I've known you. You've like everything I say. Why? Okay, but like that's how you
Yeah,
always been.
yeah.
It's not
The reason
that.
No, I didn't actually know that.
The reason
You've
I
been like
said
that from
that was
day.
because on Christmas Day on Twitter, that's what
You
you're
know,
doing.
you know, I didn't tell you. So when that was going on, me, Efwa, and Jerome were on FaceTime, innit?
Is it?
We were on FaceTime laughing at what you were saying.
Oh,
Wow.
This is what. But that's what I said on Twitter. Everyone's watching you arguing.
that's mad.
Yeah.
On
Christmas Day.
You love a FaceTime because you've mentioned
Innit, this
FaceTime
is-
earlier. You love a group FaceTime.
Oh my
I'm
God.
Okay.
done.
Yeah, what
So wait,
happens?
what's okay? So essentially, you've explained what Swirly is, the founder, you lot's friendship. So what? Yeah, founder.
Founder.
You know what I mean. So what is the aim of Swirly? Like, what is you lot's not end goal, but what's you lot's mission? Essentially, because some people watch this might think, you're an organization, a gang, what other words?
Terrorists.
A company,
Yeah, like what is
a registered business,
church,
like
and
this, do you know what I mean?
LLC? Like what is what's your goal? Like
Yeah.
what is your aim? What's your mission?
Our mission is to preach Christ and Him crucified,
Hallelujah.
and to let people know that God is good.
All the time.
They've been loved
Not
from the jump.
Not the good that people try and say, oh, He's good, but He sent the flood. Oh, He's good, but He punished. No. God is good, and in Him there is nothing evil at all. Okay. And God does no evil. That's the bit that gets us in a
That's
lot
the
of
bit
trouble.
you lot are
Yeah.
debating right
When
now,
we say
heavily
that
on the
God
TL.
is good and He does no evil.
Got you.
Right.
Got you. Okay.
So those two things mainly, yeah.
Okay, so now we're going to go back to what we came here to talk about, Christian Twitter. So you guys receive a lot of hate on Twitter. Is it, hate is the
Yeah,
right word.
hate is the word.
Yeah.
You probably wouldn't call it that.
Yeah, the people
We
that
see,
say
we
it-
receive a lot of love in love too, right?
No, sorry, when I see it, to be honest, because I think you lot have your role to play. We'll get there, but I see a lot of hate that you lot receive, and we just wanted to know how it makes you guys feel, what you think about it.
Because obviously you just said quotation marks. It
In
comes
love.
from love.
Yeah.
So obviously you don't agree that it comes from love.
Yeah. So tell us,
No, we
tell
know.
us.
Even atheists can see it's not in love.
Wow.
I would agree. With that.
Yeah. I
So
see
yeah, why do you
that.
think that? Like, what do you guys
Yeah,
think
why-
of it?
yeah,
Like,
why do you- yeah.
why do you think it happens? Why
Everything.
you like?
Oh, this is what we say. No one says what we say.
That's true.
What are the things? I don't know. What do you
We
say?
challenge.
Give me an example because I'm very intrigued.
Would you
The
say you
fam.
challenge Christianity, or would you say you challenge certain doctrines?
certain doctrines, but to the people that believe those
That's
things,
their
that is
Christianity.
Christianity.
Right. Okay.
Like
That's all they know
if
about
we
it.
talk about hell, you have to believe this or you're not a Christian. If we talk about the
Right.
Bible, you have to believe this or you're not a Christian. And we come along
So
as
why don't you
Christians.
give her an example?
So, for example, the concept of hell, that God burns everybody forever. We say that is the worst doctrine in human history to come out of the church.
You don't believe it.
I preach against it.
So you don't believe in hell.
what's the alternative? What
See,
do you
that's
think?
okay. Example of what I was saying. So I said I don't believe in hell as eternal punishment, and your conclusion is you don't believe in hell.
Right. John, you don't need to come for me like that.
I'm not coming. No, I'm showing
She's
you
good,
this
she's
what I'm
good, she's
talking
good,
about,
she's
right?
good.
So this is
She's
the
good.
thing.
She's good.
So this is
Yeah,
what
I'm alright.
this is what we do. So we're like people. We don't realize that we've been raised in a certain type of Christianity,
Right.
and we've been put in a box. So this is all we know. So when someone comes from outside the box and says there's also
They
this
feel
way, we're like,
threatened.
wait, what?
From what you've been taught, yeah.
No. It can't be that because it's only this.
Yeah,
Scary
because
as well.
that's-
it's scary to
It
unlearn
is because
because
yeah, that's the
if
word.
you grow
You're
up the way a
unlearning.
lot of us grew up, especially African Christians,
Hush.
to hear that hell is not eternal
Fire
punishment, you're
in
here
the
like,
prayers, fire, send fire to the camps of the enemy.
do you know what I mean? And honestly, I do think it's hard to just change your mind, and some people are never going to change their mind. I think,
yeah.
and it's also delivery, which we're going to come to you as well.
Do you know what? I'm so glad you even pointed that out. That you said that you don't believe hell is eternal punishment,
talk
and then
about-
I responded saying,
Yeah.
you don't
Because that's what
believe
everybody
hell
does
exists.
on Twitter when
And
they tweet.
and that is a prime example. Don't
Don't
come
Ashley.
for me, yeah. Don't be like me, where you didn't say that you don't believe hell exists. You just said that you don't believe in that
Type
aspect
of hell, the
of
way
it.
hell has been
Right.
portrayed.
So what do you, sorry, I know this isn't like, I want to know what's the alternative? Like, what do you actually believe?
So historically, there have always been three major
Making sure,
views.
'cause
Yeah,
this is
I
what we
just want to
Maybe
know.
it's
I
Just
forgot to even
quickly.
do
Just
that
an
PSA.
example.
This is not meant to be a theological podcast, by the way, but go for it.
Yeah.
So
I just want to hear.
So within the
like,
church, there have always
yeah.
been three major views on hell. The first one is eternal torment that we grew up in.
Yeah.
The second one is annihilation.
Mm-hmm.
So hell is like you're thrown in and then you burn up, you cease to exist, and that's the end.
I've never heard.
And then the third one is universal reconciliation or universalism. So
Mm-hmm.
hell is more like a purifying fire that we all go through,
Right, okay.
and then we
I've heard
will
that
end up
one.
reconciled to God.
I've heard
So
that
those are
one.
the three.
Wow.
views.
Never
And you
heard
believe
that
the
one.
third one.
We believe in the third
Cool,
one.
got you. All right. So the hate.
They reacted well to that.
We've seen it already.
They probably didn't react so well to it when they first.
When I
Seen
first saw
it?
I'm not even gonna lie. I was like,
What you mean they're preaching?
yeah, no,
I
the
haven't-
hell one.
Oh, that.
Specific
Okay.
episode.
Yeah.
Not because
I
I,
saw it
want
briefly.
Not even because I want people to go to hell. It was just I've never heard. Like,
Yeah,
I
it was
like,
something different.
I've heard it before, absolutely.
Oh yeah.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, the hate. So you was meant to address the hate. So how do you feel about the hate you receive? Blah blah blah. blah.
Oh, I've been getting hated on, man. So it's
Oh,
It's nothing
It comes with the job. It comes with the
There's
job.
nothing new to you.
Literally.
It comes with the
I think
job.
we
You
kind
know
of
what
knew-
you signed up for.
Yeah,
okay.
I think because we kind of knew when we first heard it. Okay, wait, hold on. The way even when we talked about it to people before we even first put it on the TL was already like what you guys talking about. So already okay, this is what people's reaction are going to be out like when we put it out.
from then on.
And a lot of people, these people don't really know us like that anyway. So yeah, I think the people that argue the most with us or like show the most hate are the people that we know haven't really looked into it that much. So we don't really take it to heart. Like we just like, well,
right. So it never upsets you. Never gets you. You're all right.
no. When it was difficult was when I first. So Swirly, there's like a group of us
Yeah.
that were preaching this, but when I first started the
It was just
platform,
you.
It was just
me.
you.
No one agreed with me. My pastor didn't agree with me. My
Right.
best friends didn't agree with me. People would go into my best friends when I started the platform, like, what's going on with John?
You're
He's going
right.
into error. My best friend had
Error.
to go.
Into error.
He had to go see my pastor. He was like, I'm really worried about John because he's just started a ministry and everybody's saying all this stuff about him. This really isn't good for him. He shouldn't be getting this much. You know?
Hey, yeah.
So that was when it was really difficult.
How can they say you're going into error?
Oh yeah, heresy. We get this all the time. So having gone through that off the TL, I don't know who you are talking to me on 140 characters. Come on, you think I'm gonna be?
Got you.
Come on, man.
Got
So
you. That's interesting.
but there was something else that you said that I wanted to touch on about how it affects us. Oh yeah, the people that don't know us, yeah, and then usually the people that engage with us they're just talking out of ignorance. I had noticed this the more we had conversations with people and the different kinds of people. So people that had actually people that had a theology degree, for example, they wouldn't
Wow.
agree with. They
You're
wouldn't
really talking to everyone.
Yo, to everyone.
addressing
The stuff that-
everybody
no, honestly,
today.
the stuff that we would say would engage with so many different people.
Yeah.
So people that had a theology degree, for example, they would hear us even if they didn't agree. They would never use certain words to describe us. They wouldn't say, "Oh, you're a heretic."
Okay.
They wouldn't say you've gone into. I don't necessarily agree with that, but they'd hear us out. Whereas people that got saved yesterday and all they know is what their pastors preach, and they're like, oh, this guy's in error. And I was like, that's a really interesting.
well.
Really interesting.
Yeah.
People that got saved yesterday.
No, but
No, but I get what
you.
I get what you're saying
No, that's
essentially.
proper interesting.
Okay, on that, even you say it's ignorance. Do you think you guys bring it
Inciting
on
the
your
violence to yourself.
Oh, yeah,
sometimes.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's not like we don't know what we're doing.
No, because on the real,
She was not expecting that
No, it's not
one.
even that. I was because now I've met you lot. I can see that you know that actually before I've spoken to John too before, so I know he knows what he's doing. He knows that what he's gonna do is gonna bamboozle people's heads. But then
shaking the table.
it's more like, okay, there's this one question I wanted to ask you guys both, mostly you though, because I've seen you do this the most. Yeah,
Who?
John.
Yeah,
It's
It will be like it'll be random, yeah, but like he'll see someone's theology is flawed, like in his opinion, and then he'll quote tweet it, and I feel like sometimes it can look like you're embarrassing them on the TL. Why do you think that?
It gives like, is this you vibes?
Yeah, like
No. So
no, not is this you? No,
No, it doesn't say that, but it gives
I mean,
that
it's not giving
vibe.
that. To
Essentially,
me, it's more like, do you really know what you're talking? And you're talking here on the TL.
And do you know what? I can't comment because I haven't seen it.
you haven't
Fair
seen
enough.
it. So I'll show you what I do.
Okay.
So if someone says something that I disagree with,
Yep.
I'll deconstruct what they've said, and I'll say this is a really interesting idea. So for example,
So why can't you DM them?
I don't come across patronizing.
yeah.
Why don't you DM them?
I find this super interesting. So someone there was something I retweeted today that I remember seeing, because someone was like, they were tweeting about us basically. They indirected us and this generation, you know, they've constructed, how sad is it that they've constructed a God in their own image, they're not happy with the God of the Bible, and I said, you know, that they've turned to a God who's only loving and forgiving and and I quoted it and I was like, I did like a little mini thread. I was like, this is a really interesting tweet. And I find this really interesting because it's like, why? Honestly, I'm like, this is really interesting because we say, these guys have constructed a God who's only loving and forgiving. I was like, why do we have to construct that God? Isn't that what the real one's like? And then like a couple threads under it. Oh, sorry, yeah. So I did a couple tweets under it, basically saying that, you know, well, God is actually like that. He's not just like this other God. So that's normally what I'll do if there's something that I disagree with. But so people don't clock it, but I'm very particular with who I do that to.
Right. Okay.
So I'll do it to like a John Piper tweet.
Okay.
Or I'll do it to, there was a guy called Dustin Benj, I would do that to his tweets. Or I'd do it to this guy called Trevor Sheets' tweets. People that like had a massive following that didn't, the kind of people that would interact with me saying, you're a heretic, done no research, because they blindly follow these people that tweet, I always do it on their tweets. So
you can sort of educate them.
Yeah, so when they would see the tweets, they'd be like, okay, cool. And then maybe some of them will come and engage. But like if it was just some random person and I really wanted to speak to them, I'd DM them.
Yeah,
Right, that's why I got into it. Like, why don't you DM them? Yeah.
Yeah, no, I DM.
Because can you see how? Okay, this is how I initially, when I first started to see it, I was like, does he think that this comes across well to other people viewing this? No, honestly, because I understand what you're trying to do, especially if you're passionate about something. Like, you want people to know, like, something you're passionate about, something
To
that you love, you want them
understand.
to understand it. But I feel like the tone you use can misconstrue can lose the messaging, if that makes sense.
I think it depends. So when people know me, so now you've met me. I always tell people this when they first meet me and they're from Christian Twitter or they've seen me on Christian Twitter. I say, go back and read my tweets and see if you read them in the same tone.
That's very interesting.
That's a good point. And you know, even on that, I feel like we're getting on to John, but there's someone else
So you
here.
study psychology.
Ephraim.
Not all of us have.
It's both of them because
okay.
even on what you've said, where you see where it comes across a certain way, I feel like I don't even want to say it's an issue, but what I've seen is when someone has made like a tweet about one of you, all of you
gang
come
up
out
on
of
They're
the
a gang. They
woodworks.
said gang. They call themselves gang.
You gotta back your bread.
Do you like?
What do you mean? You gotta back your bread.
So do you feel like? Do you like? Would you agree if people called you clicky? Or not? Like, or do you see where they're coming from at all?
Especially with the group face.
Because obviously, like I said, I don't know. Especially
and when all
because
of you come on one person, it's like, whoa.
this is what I mean. I don't know this. This is the first time I'm hearing this, and to me, it comes across like clicky. So do you get it, or do you feel like no, you have another purpose with it? Or
So
wait, can Ephraim?
Yeah.
I hear it. I definitely hear it, but I think because more so the purpose is for us to show a different opinion. So when people see that other opinion and they don't agree with, and they see other people saying, "Wait, hold on, there's more people that don't agree with this thing." Like, it's gonna look clicky, but if we think of things in the real world, there's always going to be people with difference of opinion. So let's say the Dustin Bench tweet that he quote tweets, for example. There's going to be loads of people in a clicky way, you could say, that are all agreeing with him. But then in the same way, you could have another group of people, us,
in a clicky
who
way that don't
also
agree with him.
quoting that same thing with a difference of opinion. It will look clicky to them because it's like, well, this is not what we believe. So they're outside over there.
They'll call that clicky. That is. They'll call it clicky, but the people who
exactly. But we've seen like what everyone believes or the mainstream thing that doesn't look clicky to us because like that's what we're used to. Does that make sense?
That's a great point.
I've never seen it like that.
But then, do you not feel like? I don't know. I have a point, but I think it's just left my head now.
If you remember.
well, okay, so
Wait, hold on. I remember.
Go on.
Do you not feel like? Do you not feel like though? Like, do you not feel like it depends on what your purpose is? Like, for example, if I don't know if you're trying to correct someone in a tweet and you quote tweet it and your gang decide to do the same, I don't want to say forget what your purpose is, but if your purpose is to correct them, why does it take all of you to do so?
That's a good question.
Like, why can't one person just tell this person and so be it? Like, take it if you will or not. Or is that not what it is?
Because normally, so what normally happens is, let's say John quote tweets it
Mm-hmm.
and he says something. I'll say quote tweet it, but in a completely different way.
Right.
If that person doesn't get it as well.
Okay.
So different perspective.
Different
Yeah.
perspective. Yeah.
Or
Just
what
trying to
will
get them
happen-
understand like in different ways.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or what will happen is I'll quote tweet it, or someone will quote tweet it, and then people will come for the person who's quote tweeted it and be like, this is wrong, this is false.
Right.
And then because I know they're already in the minority of what they believe, and it's gonna look like, oh yeah, we dealt with them. I just can't let that happen. So that's, and I feel like all of us feel that way.
Is
I
it
feel like,
pride?
honestly,
And I was
it's not. It's just. It's
I can't let people think
can't
we've been
finish
dealt
off.
with.
No,
That's what it comes across like.
I don't even mean on the swirly thing.
Yeah.
Because it's not a swirly thing. It's anybody that's preaching this message.
Yeah.
That's because when you believe what we believe, you're automatically pushed to the side, and people like they want to like.
They, at all costs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you mentioned something earlier. Actually, just reminded me of before I came into this message. I was already hearing about the people that preached it.
Right.
Oh, stay away from them. They're hyper grace.
Right.
So like that's what happens to
No,
us.
that's you.
So because I know what that does, and I know that like you're basically being scapegoated, and I'm not gonna stand by and let that happen. So I'm gonna make sure I come with full force.
Yeah, we see.
I come with full force.
Yeah, we see it.
Don't use this word to say. Don't call them a heretic because you like. I won't. I just don't like that.
Does
I don't
it
like
happen
people doing it.
often?
What is that?
Yeah.
Every day.
Oh, tell
Basically.
me, sometimes I need to rest.
And even
So you're
it's
always
glad-
coming
I'm
from-
so happy you said that, like, because I said this to her that I wanted to ask you guys this, like, obviously you guys have your clubhouse discussions.
Other rooms that we do. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
is that what that is?
Still.
No, do you know why? Because I do see Ephraim in these chats because we follow each other.
Yeah.
But do you not see? I would come in. I come in, but I don't stay because I don't know what it is. But I get it now.
So will you stay now that you know what it is?
Maybe.
We got one on Friday.
Okay. What's it called?
She loves the clubhouse.
What does it mean to be free?
What does it mean to be free? Okay.
Let me
I
not
like
say
her.
I'm going to tune in because...
Ashley.
No, because
Ashley.
I'll ping you.
Ashley. She's not on Clubhouse.
I don't even have Clubhouse because I don't want to... That's a whole other discussion.
say what
But basically, what she said, like, she gets tired when she sees it. My question for you guys is, do you not get tired?
Do you not rest?
I'd say the only time we were super tired.
Ooh, this one person gave it to you guys, didn't it? You just thought, you
So
know what, lost cause.
We did the Zoom debates
I'm joking.
last Easter. We did a series of debates on Zoom.
Okay.
I remember seeing that.
Like 300 plus
Wow.
people tuned in each one.
That's sick.
It was like huge.
Till like
But
2 a.m.
the thing is,
2 a.m.
bear in mind these things started like 9. It was like 9 till 2. 9 till
Jesus,
3.
Lord.
Now the thing is, when we were saying like what we say now, the stuff that we say now, which is what we were saying then, is way more accepted on Christian Twitter now than
Right.
it was. But back then, no one was trying to hear it, so we were very much in the minority. So of those, say 350 people, a good 310 would be commenting, "What the hell is this? These guys are heretics. These guys are false. Are these guys Christians?" And it was so like for 6 hours straight, for like
3 days.
3 debates. I was like, we didn't even want to do the third one. I was like, I'm drained, man. I was honestly like, I'm drained because
we actually didn't want to do it.
we would like, it feels mad to be like, we're telling people that like, obviously we believe this is the truth, right? Like this is, why can't you see it? But
Yeah.
like you're being told you're mad for 6 hours. Honestly, it was so draining.
Jeez.
I can imagine.
So that was the only time it was draining. On Twitter, it's just like,
Because you lot you have chat for days.
because we've been doing like 6-hour debates on one topic. We can say everything.
You've
So-
read
The thing is, we do this amongst ourselves. Like,
Got you.
all the time before
That's
we
how for
even
you it's
build
light
it
work.
anyway.
It's
Yeah,
nothing
so
new.
like-
You're not new to this. You're true to this.
I like that. It's nice.
Thank you.
Literally, so people say stuff like, and I hate the stereotypes that people give. It's like, oh, so okay, I'm the leader of Swirly. Yeah, they just copy John, whatever John says. I'm like, excuse me,
I've felt like that before.
excuse me.
I can't lie.
Yeah. And this is the thing, like people, that's just like stupid assumptions that people make. It's like,
Yeah, of course.
you don't know us. And I was like, I could literally put you in a room with any of them right now.
They'll have the same
fist up anybody
thing.
that tries to come in them with scripture.
Papa.
Straight. And it's not because I taught them.
Yeah.
It's not because I taught
It's
them.
just like-minded
Everybody's done their own
people.
research. Like
Yeah.
if you're gonna believe something that's against the norm, do you know how much studying you have to do
That's
to
the
believe
thing.
it?
Yeah.
Absolutely,
That's one thing
especially
I
if
think
you're so
people
confident
forget.
about it, you have to back your beef.
That's
like-
one thing I can credit you guys on is like you sound very well researched
Yeah.
all the time.
You're
I
not
have to
talking
commend
was.
you lot. for that.
references and all that.
No, I have to commend. No, I have to commend you
Because you
lot
come
for
with
that
the names.
Swirly 2020.
2021.
Bye.
No, like from past
before.
tweets, like
yeah, because like people will come back at you lot, and you can tell the difference in what they're like, the research they've done, even the scripture they
studying.
quote, whatever. You can see it. So I have to commend you guys for that. It's not like you're just chatting out your assholes. So cool.
No, but honestly, like how obviously you guys answered this already, like how it makes you feel. But I feel like you answered it like politically.
No, I promise you, like, it doesn't
Like,
bother us.
it doesn't
Doesn't
bother you.
bother
Like it
us.
doesn't. At least like when you see one, even if it's like from. Obviously, you've said like, oh, people on Twitter that don't know you. What about the people who
That know
do
you,
know
that's a
you?
good point.
People who were your close friends that have. It kind of seems that they've turned against you, and they have X, Y, and Z. How does that make you feel? Because I'm thinking of if I was to put myself in you guys' position, and say for example I went off and I started doing my own thing, had my own beliefs, and it was opposing to them too, and then they turn around and they're hiding behind, oh, this generation is so lost, but they're actually talking about me. They're actually talking about me. I'm not being funny. I would cry. I would be devastated.
You're right.
You know what's
I
mad?
hear you.
Most
I hear
of my
you. Oh, is that
friends
what's
now,
happened
they
then?
now believe it. Yeah.
Oh.
Most of
Oh,
my
I don't
friends.
know. This is
Speculation.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Most of my friends. now believe it.
Done.
Allegedly. Okay.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. Okay.
Most of my friends now believe what I believe. Yeah.
You're an
Well, but
influencer.
When you say most of your friends, is it because you've cut the ones off that don't believe it, but the ones
They
I'm
will-
just asking because what do you mean? That's not a good question. Because when you say most of your friends, it could. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Like,
So what people don't see, for example, the day that I realized that God doesn't kill,
Right.
we had a 6-hour FaceTime debate within Swirly
Okay.
because Kufre wasn't hearing it, Jerome wasn't hearing it.
It's interesting
Ethel
to hear
wasn't
this
hearing it.
perspective.
Yeah, like we like. So this is what I'm saying. When people see us on the TL, like, oh, they just agreed. No, we don't. 'Cause
Like before,
they,
yeah.
we would argue. I was arguing with them for 6
yourselves,
hours,
yeah.
so they clearly didn't just listen. Oh, John says this. Yeah, we agree. No,
Right.
we argued. I remember like so on the 6-hour call, God doesn't kill. Yes, he does.
Right.
Then the next, then they had another call after for I don't know how many more hours, and the conclusion that Kufre. I remember Kufre in particular because Kufre was adamant God still kills. Right. So Kufre, after that call, was then like, God doesn't kill except in these situations.
Right.
And then the next day we went to McDonald's because we were with Earl, and I had the same kind of debate with him. And then Kufre came in and he was like, God doesn't kill. I was like, wait, what?
He knew you were talking about him.
He was
felt
like,
in his spirit.
no, God doesn't kill. I was like, wait, what happened? He was like, fam, we had another discussion last night. Da, da, da. So, because this has happened. It's like we'll have our discussions within Swirly, and then we'll leak it onto the TL.
Leak it.
so-
Hey!
This is the thing. So the
Celebs.
stuff
Can't put
that
it up like the stuff we've always said to each other, like you can't just put this stuff straight out because, like you said, not everyone's read in this thing because not read up on this thing. So if we were to just put on, oh yeah, God doesn't kill, people just like, okay, like
Yeah.
where you lot get where's this one come from?
You don't want
Like,
to come with information you haven't done your research
it
on.
took us. No. It's not that we didn't believe
Yeah,
it. So this is the thing. People think that we just, and it's so funny because I'm gonna address something that someone said to me. So I came into the message in terms of the finished work of Christ, June 2019. I came to understand the nature of God maybe like August, September.
Right.
We didn't talk about the nature of God in the TL until the Zoom debates,
Wow.
which was Easter the next year,
Yeah.
because we knew that they couldn't handle, like the Twitter would not be able to handle. Twitter was struggling with, you are the righteousness of God in Christ Jesus, you're not a sinner.
I'm done.
Your flesh is dead. They weren't trying to hear that.
Right.
So for me to come and say this stuff, never.
Mad, yeah.
So the only reason that even happened, the only reason that people found out was because of the Zoom debates, because
Right,
so it was
okay.
like, oh, so they like, so even people that came to Platts, my fellowship, didn't know that I believed that stuff. They were hearing it for the first time
Wow.
on the debates. So after the Zoom debates though, everything, like all bets were off. It was like, well, we can say anything
Might as
now.
well.
Yeah, like, we might as well tell people what we believe. So then we started being a lot more open with what we believed. And then people started addressing, so because the cat was now out of the bag, And now people are like, oh, well, hopefully they don't believe this. So they started doing threads on other stuff and straw man and universalism. I've read the universalism tweet that someone tweeted last year today. And they were like, oh, universalism says that, we all worship the same. No, yes, we all worship the same God or something.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. And I was like, so I quote tweeted it. I said,
As you do.
Yeah, of course.
And I was like, if you're going to attack a theology, at least present it correctly.
Right.
Have the decency, don't do that. So I was like, so I did the thread underneath it. Contrary to popular belief, this is actually what universalists believe.
Got you.
But someone replied to me then, they were like, oh, so what, are you a universalist? I said, and my answer to them was, I do not believe in eternal conscious torment.
Political answer.
Because at the time, TO wasn't ready for me to talk
Right,
about
until later then you explain.
So you've been actually quite considerate.
people think that we're mad, but we are so calculated with what we do.
Interesting. That's very interesting to know because you wouldn't think that. I have another question quickly, yeah?
Okay.
So when I saw you guys call yourself Swirly Gang, one thing just in my head,
I was still with the Swirly.
Yeah.
No, because that's what we're talking about. So you know how people have how do I explain this? In the Bible you have the Pharisees. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Has anyone ever drawn lines between the two to you guys before?
Wow.
Because in my head, my head went there one time because I was like, you know how people sometimes in their beliefs they become insular, and then they keep, like, as in to almost like everybody outside us is doing it wrong. We're doing it right. Mm-hmm. Yeah, clicky, but more like if you think
like in your own
in the Bible,
yeah,
like it's literally like we are the only ones doing this right.
Yeah,
everybody else, F you all. Do you know what I'm saying? So yeah, like has anyone ever
that comparison
done that comparison to you lot?
Because you said people have called you a heretic. What was the other one?
Falling
God
into
haters,
error.
Oh yeah,
God,
you've gone into error.
You love that one.
Sorry, that one.
I'm still not over that one.
But yeah,
it's still ringing in my head.
Yeah.
So the thing is, what started to happen was the more we studied, the more we realized this is a systematic issue. Okay. It's not just at the beginning. It was the finished work message. No one's preaching the finished work. Preach the finished work, man. And then we started looking into other doctrines, and we were like, oh my God, our actual core foundations of Christianity are flawed.
Right.
Like we believe this doctrine, and our whole system is what the gospel stands on.
Right.
But all of these are messed up. So then it became more of a systematic issue. So then we started speaking out against evangelicalism as a whole, which is what most of the Western world in Christians believe, right? So now that's when so certain people would be triggered by the stuff we were saying, but when we started attacking core doctrines like hell, how people understand the cross and the atonement, that's when everybody started getting triggered. And then, no, we actually, funny enough, never been called Pharisees. That's
where my mind is.
You see, I feel like, sorry, I don't want to cut you off. I feel like that led on to my final question in terms of when you said everyone started getting onto you. Do you actually genuinely have people that when you do these tweets and say these things that you believe, that they actually support it, like they hear it? Because obviously, I don't know it, you guys on Twitter. Do you know what I mean? So, do people actually support it on Twitter, or is everyone actually against it? So not, you can't think of examples before, like a year ago when
I can remember people wasn't
before the Zoom debates.
Wow.
There was no one at all like
hearing it from you guys.
And it was only after this, and it wasn't even straight after the Zoom debates. I'd say a few months afterwards when people started to look into it, like, okay, cool, hold on, these guys maybe they're making a bit of sense. That's when we started seeing other people come out with their tweet and are saying this is. I was like, oh, right.
That's actually what's super ironic. So we came off of Zoom debates thinking, oh my God, people don't want to hear this at all.
Yeah, we're finished.
Like this is mad. We're finished. Platts attendance is gonna go down. People like it's worse than it's ever been, and it had the opposite effect. People sat on the debates for 6 hours, and I think it would have been really interesting to watch. So you speak about the Pharisees thing, right? So they sat there, they watched these people, these young boys come on a Zoom debate, and they're making their points about the nature of God. God is loving and kind, and all the Christians with the right doctrine are completely assaulting them verbally in the conversation for 6 hours, not letting up. To the point where the person that we were debating with stepped in and said, you guys need to stop because this is getting ridiculous. Our opponents defended us. How did we react? We were just calm the whole time. So I know they'd have been sitting there thinking, one of these groups is more like Jesus than the other right now. And it's not the ones with the right doctrine, apparently. And obviously the stuff we were saying, like the points made sense. So it was a case of the Zoom debates had the opposite effect of what I think the people we debated with intended, where they were hoping to shut down. Remember someone tweeted that they hope God shut down our doctrine of demons. They tweeted the night of the first debate. And so what happened was people actually,
hate is
it was the
there,
Zoom
wow.
debates that were like a catalyst for a lot of people because they went away and researched the stuff that we said and they were like, this makes sense. This is right. So what then happened over the year, over like the rest of last year, was more and more and more people came into the message. So now it literally reached the point where I don't have to tweet anymore. Like if I tweet a little bit, I tweet on and off when I'm in the mood to like, you know what, I've seen someone tweet, I'm like, this is annoying. I'm going to talk about this doctrine for the next 2 days. But like I'm chilling now because there are people that will do it for like literally.
Your send outs.
Yeah, they're not from like they're not even.
So even Swirly.
Yeah, they won't
I've seen. Yeah.
They will literally say we're not swirly. They just believe what we believe. But because they believe, and like it's not a you need to be swirly to preach this message. We care about you getting the message.
Does that warm your heart when you see those people?
Oh, absolutely. This is the other thing. So actually, no. Something else to answer one of your questions was before about how we feel.
Yeah.
What keeps me going is when someone messages me like, "Oh my God, I really need this." Like a thread that everybody's moving mad at.
That's what I was trying to get
someone
at.
else will message, will DM me like, you don't understand.
I needed to see this right
away
now.
from Christianity.
Yeah.
I think that's what kept us going as well.
It's a proper hopeful message for sure. Do you guys have any questions for us?
I was gonna.
So can you? They always do. They keep playing mind games with each other. They just play mind games, and I just sit out of it.
Yeah, that was what she was gonna say.
Yeah. Do you have any questions for us? Anything?
Yeah. We've asked you.
You seem to have a lot to say earlier.
Yeah, quiet now, ain't ya?
I think they thought the podcast was going to be something else.
Yeah, I didn't think it was going to be a
I
Q.
thought you had more questions.
Yeah.
That's it.
What?
Yeah.
Lie. What was that?
Questions, come on, man.
For 6 hours. You were coming with.
Yeah, no,
We're not on that. That's not what we came
You lot
for.
thought it was going to be a theological thing.
No, we didn't think
no,
it's theological, but
did
we
you
thought
not?
we'd have more questions about like your
Time.
method and
I think we're keeping into account like our audience because we don't want to assume everybody knows you. Not even in a rude way.
Not
but just
even
in the
that.
sense where like,
Not even,
you know, let me just be
not
quiet.
even only that. Not even
Actually.
my thought process, because this was my idea to have you lot on. It was more because obviously a lot of people misunderstand you. And I just wanted to have a better understanding of you guys for myself.
That too.
So I feel like asking you how you became Swirly, all those are the kind of questions that I wanted to know. So
And give you the opportunity to explain because I feel like everyone has their own assumptions.
Yeah.
And obviously I did. Obviously Temi didn't really know.
just in our own world.
But
So why do you guys think that is the case? Like that people. Oh, so what? First of all, what is that assumption?
Yeah.
And what does it look like?
Okay,
that's the
I
first
can
question
talk all
to start.
day for you,
Oh,
darling.
Yeah, you go answer that one
I think
first.
the first. Oh, Jordan.
No, you go, love.
The assumption I had initially was, what the hell is going on? And then it was, I don't have a problem with Christians coming and sharing their beliefs.
No views.
Mine is always about delivery. And I felt like you lot's delivery was so
Radical?
wild. Like, yeah, radical, but wild. Like, because even if you're not intending to be condescending, patronizing, or like feel like you're correcting people, it can come across like that, if that makes sense. That was my first assumption. Then I also had the Pharisee assumption. Then what else did I have? I think that's it. It's more, and the ganging up thing that they mentioned.
Yeah, that was my only assumption.
That was really it. And I think the reason I can see it, maybe because I'm outside of you lot, that's why I see it.
And obviously, like I
that.
don't want to have to repeat myself 20 times. Like, obviously, I didn't know about you guys, but
She's rubbing it in now.
No, I'm not rubbing it in. No, because it's going to make my point. So obviously, now that I know what I know, if I had been on Twitter and seen these things, I think my opinion would literally, like I said before, it just would have been cliquey.
Okay.
That's what I think it would have been, cliquey, because I feel like when it comes to me, then what I know about Christian Twitter, or just Christians in general on Twitter, however you want to put it, I feel like, I don't know, I don't feel like Christians mean to be cliquey, but there's just something about Christians that's very
Gives off
cliquey.
that
Like, it
vibe.
just gives off that vibe. We've heard so many different examples of people, like groups of people, that maybe their purpose is just to share the word or just do what they want to do, but they just still end up looking cliquey. Do you know what I mean?
Even if that's not the
the intention. So that's what it would have been.
It's because of the gospel that they preach. The
I was
gospel
about to
they
say.
preach is very exclusionary.
We are
Right,
That's
there you go.
true.
There you go.
Literally.
Yeah, there
we
you go.
are the elite.
I get
We
you.
make heaven. The rest of you
You're
don't.
right. I see
Yeah,
that.
there's that, exactly.
I
My
think
last-
they've all. Oh, sorry. You
My
say the
last
last
one
yeah.
was that. He's gone. It's going.
Bring it back.
That people will be confused. Like, people, especially if they're young, like in their faith or whatever journey, that when they see it at first, they're gonna be like, "Is this what Christian?" Like everybody's fighting every day,
Right.
Like, that, and it was a worry for me because I understand like the unlearning your faith thing because I've been on the journey myself, and it was a personal journey. I didn't have it on Twitter. Do you know what I mean? But nowadays, people are literally learning and taking things from Twitter without doing their own research. So one day they believe in you, next minute they believe in somebody else, but they don't have a solid foundation to their belief. Do you know what I
And
mean?
that was
a big worry for me.
Yeah, that was my assumption issue. That's why, like, not even to sound like horrible or anything, but you've really surprised me, John. I'll be honest with you, because when I see, obviously I know Ephraim, so it's a bit different. But with you, obviously I've never ever met you before. I've never had a conversation with you, but you've really surprised me today, mate. Because
he's nice.
Bye.
That's what I said.
He's nice.
I literally said, she asked me how. She asked
Do you get that a lot?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can
She
tell.
asked me, how do you think he will be? And I literally said, I think he's going to be stern.
I didn't think you'd be stern. I just thought you'd be rude.
Well,
Right.
you genuinely didn't think he was nice.
I didn't know.
Not that you don't have a nice bone in your body,
Yeah,
but
well, you know me, I keep it.
that
just-
That's why I feel like it was good that you brought them
And
on
I
to
really,
just
I didn't want to
express
assume
themselves,
stuff about people I don't know.
especially when you have a chance to bring them
On,
Exactly.
like, do you know what I'm saying? And I know other people, like, because people obviously know you lot on Twitter, when they see that we've dropped this, they'll also come and understand you lot.
Do you know what? So up until this is probably one of the reasons why things changed. Or at least, okay, so there was a super anti-swirly agenda after the Zoom debate. It's like a strong, not just the message, but us as people. Oh, they're
Yeah,
proud.
Yeah, I
they're
saw
this,
that
they're
too.
What happened was in summer when lockdown lifted, we started going to everybody's events. We went, no, because we're like that.
Oh, okay.
Go to
Pull
what
up, pull
events?
up.
Like the Christian events.
Barbecues.
Oh,
we pulled up
is that
to
the
all
one? The
events.
people that are what against you? on
Everybody was
Twitter?
against us. We went to their at their own events, right?
Yeah.
And when they met
Wow.
us, I literally told these guys, I said, don't worry. When we were getting
What
all
were
of
your
that,
intentions?
when we were getting all of that, I said to them, don't worry, because when they've met us, they will not hate us. You can't. I said, just watch. All this chatting now, it's gonna end. It's gonna die off. It's exactly what happened. When they met us in person in summer, they were like, you can't, like you've met us when it's not pride, but we are nice people, right? So
And it's not Twitter. You're not behind like a keyboard. Like this is me in the
Perfect.
flesh.
Yeah,
Let's
this
have
is
a
what I'm at,
conversation.
And
Yeah.
you can't pick up tone on Twitter. Let's
Exactly.
be real.
Yeah,
I was
exactly.
just
You
about to
take
say
it how
that.
you want. So it's very
No, that is why
subjective.
that is where one reason, a big reason I should say, why we started the podcast
Yeah.
as well.
Got you.
Yeah.
So it's just show off your personalities.
what
Yeah,
we're like.
yeah.
Because for me, I'm proper intentional with the way I try to word things, just so in case, because I'm
It doesn't
thinking,
get
how is this going
But
to
the
be?
thing is,
Right.
this is the thing as well, right? As much as you can put 100% effort into
Any
how
way
you
you
can
People are
put
going
your-
to take it how they want to
There's
take
always going to be
it.
someone
There
that
you
can
go.
interpret that the wrong way.
There you go.
In a podcast, it's very hard to see someone the way they're talking, see them laughing, blah 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 blah.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
also say, "Oh, that guy's prideful." Like,
Got you.
Yeah.
can't.
I get
So we
that.
like to the point where, first of all, I did in every Swirly Take episode, the screen grab or the thumbnails, all of us laughing. So I want you to see that we're having fun.
Bye.
Done.
Secondly, with the way that we tweet, because so there was something you mentioned earlier about young Christians
Yeah.
and they're worried about what they see. Here's this again. This feeds into what we talk because we talk about evangelical Christianity structurally, like this is flawed, and there's so much hypocrisy in the camp. It's unreal.
100%.
Because the thing is, you won't be scared. People are only scared because what we say is different.
Got you.
If what we were saying was the same, you'd
No,
be
for me,
take
it's-
everything off Twitter.
For me, it's Christians in general that do that.
No,
That's
I get
it,
it.
doesn't
But
it?
like, so
Yeah.
someone will tweet something like, don't take your doctrine off for TL. I'm like, well, you're tweeting doctrine, so do you want people to just ignore you? Of course you don't. You want people to take you in.
Psychology behind that, yeah,
That's why you're tweeting it, right?
absolutely.
Yeah.
100%.
So what they mean is, don't take in anybody that disagrees with me.
Yeah.
Right.
And I'm like, you guys don't see that that's really what you mean. So that's kind of what we do, and that's why we get so unpopular because we're like, yeah, but you don't. You do the same thing as us.
Do the same, yeah.
Oh, you guys pick and choose what you believe in the Bible. Really? You just believe everything that's in the Bible? Of course. Okay. So 1 Timothy 4:10 says that God is a savior of all men, especially those who believe. Say amen to that verse.
No, it means this show. Right?
Yeah, no. So that verse is really true. No. Don't tell me what that verse is trying to say. It says what it says. You believe every verse in the Bible, right?
As in, you mean, yeah, okay, get you.
Yeah. So you pick and choose. We all pick and choose what we believe. It's just that we're honest with it, and we believe that that's like there's a way you should do that, as opposed to really believing that like I don't. I just read the Bible as it is. No, give me a break. So because of that, I just don't buy. There's so many of these things we used to hear about our delivery. Oh yeah, and what's really funny as well is the people that used to come against us on the TL that now agree with us. They don't have a problem with our delivery.
Really?
We've literally had people come back to us and be like, "Yo," so I remember one of my friends actually that we like stopped being friends because of this very thing.
Wow.
I remember
Testimony
I would say
time.
like almost like 3/4 of the year afterwards, she came back to me and was like, yeah, like she spoke to both of us on a call and was like, yeah, like the way you guys are going about this is wrong. Like this is that because we were on a Zoom with
Wow.
on a certain church or whatever. So I remember her coming back to us and being like, yeah, like I only saw it that way because I disagreed with you, but now that I think back to it, like you guys actually didn't do anything wrong. And that happens all the time. So like when you mentioned when we go to the barbecues and stuff like that, and people are just like, alright, like these people are calm, like the way, and we're articulating the same things that we're saying on Twitter to them in person.
It's a bit
They're
different.
taking it differently.
They're taking it
You're gonna take
differently.
it differently, but it's like, okay, it's because I'm hearing you say it now. It's not. I'm seeing that you're not trying to like put a weight on my head or trying to be concerned.
Yeah,
You're
of
actually trying
course.
to explain something.
Yeah.
We're just offering a different opinion, which is what we're doing, really.
You guys
And that's
feel
what I was
like-
saying, that if you just go back and now that you've met us,
I
you
will.
go back and
Yeah,
read
I'm
our
gonna
tweets,
do that, you know.
you will not see them in the same light.
If
So
I
when you
do-
see,
There's the
when you see-
psychology behind it.
I'll let
that's
you
nice.
know.
Psychology
Feel free to
behind
come
it.
on the
It
next
happens.
episode.
Everyone does
So for example,
that. It's a thing.
I like we laugh a lot, so I lol a lot on Twitter. So if
It
you
can
don't
come
know
across
me,
sarcastic.
yeah. So
Like
people
you're
will think it's being something, but I'm
condescending.
genuinely laughing. And
Got you.
if you know me, you know I'm always like I laugh more than anybody I know.
Yeah.
So if you know me, you know that John laughs a lot. So they'll see that. Anybody that knows me will see that tweet and they'll be like, yeah, John's laughing.
laughing.
But anybody that doesn't know me will be like, oh my god,
Being sarcastic.
Got you.
So
Proud.
it's
Proud.
so with our delivery and something else that you mentioned about the Pharisees thing, you just reminded me. So I see a lot more of the Pharisee stuff in what we come against.
Right.
Of
And I
course.
see it as, of course. And I
That's
see-
where it originated.
and I see a lot of, I see that the way that the Pharisees treated Jesus, how we get treated.
Okay.
So-
What?
So I kind of come at that doctrine and those things with the same energy that Jesus came at the Pharisees.
Because when people were bringing the good news, people were like, "What are you talking about?"
Yeah.
And
what
Jesus,
is that?
like Jesus wasn't nice to the Pharisees like that.
That's
He
true.
really railed
Yeah.
on them, really got onto them. Now I don't do it to people; I do it to what they believe. And I'm like,
Of course, it's not personal.
Whereas the other way around, they do it to you.
It's
lot.
just-
Yeah. They're attacking
Man,
you.
like, there was a thread last week about this is the pride of Swirly. They're just
Yeah.
trying to, they're trying to glorify ourselves, and I was like,
Wow.
I was like,
I was like,
bear in mind,
that clearly means you haven't listened to any.
bear in mind. So that he ended the thread by saying, "Oh, but I haven't actually like listened. I haven't been in any of their clubhouse rooms, and I haven't actually heard them." So I was like, so this whole thread is what.
Guys, just a quick one. Sorry. Ehram, you pointed something out. So do you have you guys, okay. So you said something about losing friends. Like, is it a common thing? Have you lost friends? Like, is it a thing that you've lost friends because of this? Or is it just been one or two occasions where this has happened?
So in the group of people that we know, so there's like a wider network of people that have like deconstructed and stuff like that. Aside from us, and I'd say there it's a lot more common, but within us it hasn't been so common. So like John said, a lot of people, a lot of his friends now believe it. But for me, I definitely lost a lot of friends, especially at the beginning. I had like people from like my church and stuff like that, like just like taking me out from like certain groups that I was part of, or certain ministries that I was part of, or
That's sad.
being uninvited from weddings and stuff like that. Like all these kind of things happen, but it's like
Wow.
yeah,
Uninvited from weddings.
yeah.
The way he dropped that in, anyway.
But yeah, okay, no, that's really like I just had to pick it up because obviously I'm sure you guys already know like a lot of people don't agree with you. So like I'm trying to see if that's stretched out to your friendship groups
No,
as well.
100%.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Got you. Well, guys, we didn't think this episode would be over an hour,
At
but
all.
here we are. So we're gonna wrap.
Let Benga
I
know.
know.
Don't do that.
So yeah, thank you guys for tuning in this week. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I really enjoyed this conversation.
So did I.
as a person,
Honestly.
sitting in it.
So
I
wait,
hope you guys-
where can they find you?
Like I said, follow us at your own peril.
Peril, first risk, now peril.
They've given you a warning, so
Giving
don't
you a
come
warning.
and DM us saying, "Oh, X, Y, Z, please
Give you a
now."
warning. Our DMs are always open for questions, by the way. So we have a lot of people, like we get questions all the time. But sweet as this. This is the other thing about our threads and stuff. So we try to do really informative. If I say something mad, I'll do a thread underneath it to explain it.
Okay.
So this is the other thing when I was saying about young believers. Like, well, no, we actually explain what we believe, and we like show that, like, yeah,
Rather than just throwing a
You're
statement
working
out
out.
there and anyone
Showed your
will-
Yeah,
maths
explain it.
working out.
Got you, but we need to wrap up, guys.
yeah. So my Twitter is at @jonabo, so ONAJ and then
It'll be
ONABOW.
on the
That's my
screen.
Instagram as well.
Below.
Fellowship is the Grace platform. So if you just at the G platform on Twitter and Instagram, and then our YouTube channel is youtube.com/the Grace platform.
Got you.
What about you?
F.
My Twitter, Instagram, the same. So it's Ephraim Kyondo. Just be my full name. I might change it back to not with the F though, because
I'd like that.
Very
Yeah,
creative.
just let us know.
I miss
before we
seeing
edit
that
this.
name on the TL. I can't lie.
Oh yeah, also we have the Swirly Take podcast.
Okay, yes.
They're going to get back to you.
We'll drop everything in the
All
description
joint
below.
platforms.
But yeah, oh wow.
Thank you guys for coming on.
We said that at the same time.
This is what I mean. I stay out of it. Do you get what I mean? I can't do it.
Thank
But
you
yeah.
so much.
Yeah, you
I hope
guys,
you enjoyed yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lots of conversations, man.
really nice chat.
Thank you guys for watching. We'll
Bye,
see you
guys.
later. Bye.
Bye.
We did the same
Oh,
thing.
you did it at the same time.